This is 7 News at noon.
Now at noon, a live look outside over the city where you can see we're off to a cloudy start to the post-holiday work week. Mostly just clouds and drizzle so far, but it will be a much different story just in time for your evening commute. Welcome to 7 News at noon. I'm Amaka Ubaka. Now, the rain we saw yesterday finally moved out, but now we're tracking some more rain headed our way. Here's a live look at the latest radar, and you can see the system out west that we'll be dealing with later this afternoon. And the rain could be heavy at times. Meteorologist Heisel Martinez has a first look at what we can expect.
Yeah, so right now we're just seeing some of those light rain showers out there. That's been the story all morning long with low visibility. Visibility is improving a little bit, but we're going to continue to see areas of patchy fog through the rest of today. We're going to get the rain, and we really don't need it. So far, we've seen 7.93 inches of rain here in Boston. That puts us about 4.5 inches above our average for November. And in Worcester, 8.86 inches, putting you about 5.5 inches above average. And we're going to get about another inch to 2 inches with the system that's starting to move in now. Visibility has improved this morning. We were under a dense fog advisory. That has expired, but we're still going to see areas of patchy fog, and you can see this here. In Boston, we're okay here in the city, but notice just northwest in Bedford, you all are seeing a visibility at 2 miles. 10 is perfect, so you can see that the patchy fog will continue through the rest of today. Even though we're not under that dense fog advisory anymore, we still are going to be seeing that. Some light misty conditions will continue through the rest of today. That's because we have an onshore breeze. You can see that we're starting to see some shower activity develop. As I zoom out, you can see the bulk of the rain is just to our west and will gradually move into our area. I think that by the time we're all driving home from work, it's going to be a soaker out there. We do have the chance to see some heavy periods of some rain into the evening hours, and then this rain could continue into tomorrow morning, but most showers will wrap up. I'll have details on just how much rain we're expecting and how gusty it'll get as the system gets closer coming up in your full forecast.
Heisel, thank you. And don't forget, you can track the rain anytime on WHDH.com or by using our mobile and tablet apps. We're following some breaking news, a significant restructuring at General Motors, the automotive company announcing it's shutting down at least 3 production facilities in North America and slashing salaried staff by 15%. 7's Steve Tellier is here in the newsroom with the details.
That's right, Amaka. General Motors announcing a major restructuring this morning that includes thousands of job cuts. The automaker says it will lay off nearly 15,000 factory and white-collar workers in North America and could close as many as 5 plants. Those 15,000 layoffs include more than 8,000 white-collar workers. Some of those employees will take buyouts. Plants in Detroit, Ohio, and Ontario are expected to be impacted. They each build cars that GM will now not continue selling. Factories in Michigan and Baltimore will also be affected. GM is the country's largest automaker and says the moves will save $6 billion in cash by the end of next year. In the newsroom, Steve Tellier, 7 News.
Also breaking, a federal class action lawsuit has been filed in federal court against Mount Ida College, its board of trustees, and other academic officers. This after the college abruptly shut its doors for good back in May. Now, the suit alleges that the college engaged in unlawful, deceptive, and fraudulent practices in addition to forcing students to seek educational alternatives with no warning beforehand. Now to the very latest on the gas disaster. A U.S. Senate committee is meeting in Lawrence today demanding answers after the deadly explosions. It's been more than 2 months since the incident rocked the Merrimack Valley, and hundreds of people are still without service. And today, lawmakers are focusing on the response and the recovery efforts of Columbia Gas. They've also heard from the family of the 18-year-old who was killed in the blast. 7's Nicole Oliverio is live this afternoon in Lawrence with the very latest. Nicole?
Well, executives from Columbia Gas answering some difficult questions in front of a packed gymnasium, all from people who were affected by those blasts back in September. And really, lawmakers want to know. They have heard Columbia Gas apologize, but they want to know what is being done right now to make sure that this never happens again.
What happened on September 13th was not inevitable. It was preventable.
This morning, Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey demanding answers from Columbia Gas.
Do you commit to adopting every one of these urgent safety measures now?
Markey led a hearing in Lawrence with other members of the New England delegation to talk about recovery efforts following the September gas explosions in the Merrimack Valley.
Who exactly at Columbia Gas has been held responsible for the shortcomings that were identified in the NTSB report? Have you fired anyone?
Investigators say overpressurization during a planned pipeline project triggered the explosions. More than 100 homes and buildings were damaged or destroyed. Dozens of people were hurt, and the blast killed 18-year-old Lionel Rondon when a chimney toppled down on the parked car he was sitting in. Rondon's sister breaking down while speaking during today's hearing.
I will never have my brother back.
Roughly 1,300 homes are still without gas more than 2 months after the disaster. Some families are now in temporary housing to stay warm, many of them packing the gym this morning.
I am here on behalf of Columbia Gas and NiSource to apologize. We are deeply sorry. I am deeply sorry.
Senator Markey's office has been accepting testimony from anybody who was affected by these gas explosions. You can either send your testimony in online, or for anybody who's in there now, they can submit that as well. They say they're going to use all of that as they continue this investigation. We're live in Lawrence. Nicole Oliverio, 7 News.
On 7 News now, police in Methuen investigating after a bizarre death. They say a woman was arguing with her cousin, and when their aunt tried to intervene, she was attacked and died later at the hospital. And now that woman is facing several charges. 7's Kim Lucy is live with the very latest for us. Kim.
Amaka, court documents show this to be an ongoing family feud that came to a head last night. Now a woman is here inside the courthouse right now, getting ready to face a judge after attacking her cousin and aunt. That woman is facing charges of assault and battery. Police say she showed up at her cousin's house in Methuen after arguing with her on Snapchat Sunday. When she attacked her cousin, her 63-year-old aunt stepped in to stop her. Police say she attacked her too, pulling her hair. Witnesses say smashing her face into the door. Neighbors on Bicknell Avenue say they could hear the arguing up the street. Police responded there for reports of a fight. When they arrived, they say family members were working to get that 63-year-old aunt to the hospital. She later died. Police caught up with her niece, placing her under arrest. She's now facing multiple charges, 4 different charges of assault and battery, including assault and battery on a person over the age of 60. We are expecting her to be in court here any moment, and of course, we'll keep you posted on that. For now, we're live outside Lawrence District Court. Kim Lucy, 7 News.
Tensions rising in the immigration battle. Hundreds of migrants storming the border, where they were met by U.S. patrol agents in riot gear using tear gas on the crowd. This morning, Mexican officials say they will immediately deport anyone trying to violently enter the U.S. from Tijuana. The clash at the border resulting in more than 3 dozen arrests over the weekend. 7's Caitlin McCauley has the very latest.
A battle at the border. After what was planned as a peaceful march devolves into chaos. 500 migrants had been gathering for a demonstration Sunday when police tried to stop them from marching toward the border. Some tried to cross illegally. U.S. Border Patrol agents used tear gas to disperse the crowd right near the world's busiest crossing between San Diego and Tijuana.
It was very scary. I mean, I just, I cross often, and this is the first time I've just been so afraid.
Border Patrol agents say they deployed tear gas in self-defense.
The group immediately started throwing rocks and debris at our agents, taunting the agents. Once our agents were assaulted and the numbers started growing, we had 2 or 3 agents at a time initially facing hundreds of people at a time. They deployed tear gas to protect themselves and to protect the border.
On the U.S. side, you can hear the crowd chanting, "Let them in." The rush to the border led authorities to suspend all crossings at the checkpoint for a few hours Sunday. More than 5,000 Central American migrants have been camped out for more than a week at a sports complex in Tijuana, waiting for an opportunity to seek asylum in the U.S.
It's a humanitarian crisis. They can't afford to take care of those people and feed those people and have them used as a waiting room, as this president has had wanted them to do.
President Trump tweeting, "Migrants seeking asylum will not be allowed into the United States until their claims are individually approved in court." He added this morning, Mexico should move the flag-waving migrants, many of whom are stone-cold criminals, back to their countries. Do it by plane, do it by bus, do it any way you want, but they are not coming into the USA. We will close the border permanently if need be. Congress, fund the wall. The mayor of Tijuana said Sunday he wouldn't let the migrants' actions damage the city's relationship with the U.S. In the newsroom, Caitlin McCauley, 7 News.
Turning now to the Russia investigation, President Trump's former campaign advisor reporting to prison today. George Papadopoulos pleaded guilty to lying about his relationship with Russian officials during the 2016 presidential election. He was ordered to surrender to a correctional facility in Wisconsin to begin a 14-day sentence. Turning now to marijuana in Massachusetts, causing concerns in Leicester. Many people experiencing traffic troubles trying to get their hands on marijuana products at the Cultivate store. The long lines we saw when pot first went on sale last Tuesday haven't gotten any shorter, and now the town is holding an emergency meeting to try to figure out what to do. 7's Michael Yoshida is live in Leicester this afternoon with the details for us. Michael.
Yeah, city officials tell me they expected it to be busy at the first start of this selling of recreational marijuana, but they didn't expect it to go on this long. This afternoon, you can see a line of cars there in the distance, as this is just one of the issues that town officials want to discuss tonight. High demand for recreational marijuana is causing concern in Leicester.
It's just much busier than we thought, which is great. Certainly the town benefits from it. And we're very happy to have Cultivate here.
The town's administrator, David Genero, is now calling for an emergency meeting.
That originally, when Cultivate opened, that the first couple of days would be pretty busy. We found that it's actually gone through the entire weekend. The crowds have remained.
Since beginning sales of recreational marijuana last Tuesday, lines at times have seemed never ending. You can see the heavy traffic causing backups on the road, too.
Yeah, 6 hours, just about. I thought it was going to be about an hour, 2 hours.
A spokesperson for Cultivate released a statement that reads, "We are seeing an extended period of high volume sales at Cultivate. While that is really exciting, the most important thing to us is that we are being good neighbors in the community. We will be working with the town to improve parking and continue to make this rollout as smooth as possible." And with Cultivate still one of the only places in the state where people can buy recreational marijuana, sites like this seem likely to continue. And the emergency meeting will take place tonight at 7 inside Town Hall. Reporting live in Leicester, Michael Yoshida, 7 News.
All right, there's much more coming up on 7 News at noon, including a basket brawl, all caught on camera, fists flying when tempers flare on the court, and a high school game in Illinois. And Midwest weather woes for travelers trying to make it home from Thanksgiving, the winter wallop that they had to contend with.
And that system in the Midwest is actually headed our way and will bring in some soaking rain for your evening commute.